The Elder Scrolls games, for all their flaws, are legendary. Each game is distinctive in its own way, but they all have something in common: their amazing quests. But some quests are much more memorable than others, so in today's video I'm going to run through the 5 best quests in the entire Elder Scrolls series so far, and here's to there being plenty more great quests in the 6th game. At number 5 we have A Brush with Death from the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This quest deserves a mention purely for its originality. You start off this quest by listening for rumours in Shadenhall, the large city in eastern Cyrodiil. You hear that the husband of Tivella Lythandus, who is a famous painter, has gone missing. When you talk to Tivella, she tells you that her husband locked himself in his study for a few days. She barged down the door eventually and found that he was nowhere to be seen. Upon closer inspection, you discover that the painting is actually a gateway. By activating it, you are transported inside the piece of art. Rife Lythandus, the famous painter, is stood near where you land. It turns out that he had a magic paintbrush that allowed him to paint superb artwork by letting him paint inside it. But a thief stole his paintbrush, but fittingly this thief was killed by some painted trolls that Ryth had made to guard himself, but without the brush, Ryth couldn't control them, meaning that he was left unable to retrieve the paintbrush and leave his painting. Obviously, you're tasked with killing the 6 painted trolls to retrieve the brush. The painter then conjures up a portal for you both to leave for the real world. Overall, this is only a small quest, but it's a potent one that sticks in one's memory because of how weird and original it is. Another original quest is Baiting the Trap, which comes from the Shivering Isles DLC for Oblivion. This quest is legendary. It involves deciding the fate of adventurers in Zedilian. A sadist's dream, this quest allows you to essentially torture these adventurers to your heart's desire. In the first scenario, you can choose between having a swarm of gnarls or a gigantic gnarl attacking the adventurers. In the second chamber, you choose between burning them alive or filling the chamber with hundreds of keys that the wizard will spend an eternity looking through to open a treasure cage. In the final chamber, you can choose to animate some corpses of the dead to attack the surviving adventurer or torment him with visions of his own ghost. Like many quests in the Shivering Isles, this one is just funny and stupid, and that's what makes it great. Next we have Skyrim's The Forsworn Conspiracy. This quest is one of Skyrim's most complex. The Forsworn Conspiracy introduces you to the politics of the Reach, namely that the Forsworn are a branch of Reachmen who want to reclaim their ancestral homeland from the Nords, who are seen as invaders. But it's more complicated than that. The Nords have lived there for a considerable amount of time, meaning that from their perspective it's as much their home as it is the Forsworn's. So on the one hand you can join the Forsworn, and in doing so help a people reclaim their homeland and overthrow their harsh Nord overlords. On the other hand, you can help the Nords put down a violent rebellion that has seen thousands of innocents slaughtered, all for a dubious political agenda based on the principle of I got here first. It is this moral dilemma essentially that makes the quest worth playing. I just wish this level of ambiguity had been present in Skyrim's main story. Technically, the next quest isn't a single quest, but it's too good to leave out. So at the penultimate spot I'm going to put Morrowind's main quest. If you watched me for a while, you know that I believe Morrowind is the best Elder Scrolls game so far, and the main reason for this is because of the story. At every level of Morrowind is built-in moral ambiguity, from being able to partly sympathise with the main antagonist, Dagoth to your initial mentor, Keys Cascades, being a skooma addict. What makes Morrowind so great is its complexity. The story isn't just about good versus evil, it's about greater and lesser evils, and everything in between. You learn the Tribunal are far from saints, and that the villain is far from completely evil. You learn that bad people can do good things, and that one can never really know the truth. The ambiguity surrounding Lord Nerevar's death is a cornerstone of the plot. It's never explained whether the Tribunal or Dagoth were responsible for his demise, or whether it was both. Morrowind, in other words, forces the player to think and to draw their own conclusions. So if you haven't given Morrowind's main quest a go, then I implore you to do so. In the top place we have the infamous Shadow over Hackdirt quest. This quest has spawned countless theories regarding the Deep Ones, who still to this day remain a mystery. In this quest you're tasked by a distressed Argonian mother with finding her daughter in the hamlet of Hackdirt, a dingy, half-burned down settlement in the middle of a forest. Upon investigation it turns out that the entire town is engaged in the cult worship of the so-called Deep Ones who reside in the caverns beneath the town. If you go into the caves, you can indeed hear a deep humming noise not audible in any other cave system in the game, indicating that something does live down there that isn't human. When you go down into the caves to rescue the poor Argonian girl, it also turns out that a bunch of naked fanatics live down there as well, but luckily they're just armed with clubs and they wear just loincloths, so they're pretty easy to deal with. Ultimately, it's the enigmatic Deep Ones that make this quest legendary. These ambiguous beings invite intrigue. I've made a whole video on it, but to summarise the main theories, people think the Deep Ones are either the Slowed or are the Elder Scrolls interpretation of some sort of Lovecraftian horror. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. Also, please let me know what's your favourite quest in the series. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.